Do me a favor. Shut the fuck up.
Hey Ryan, why don't you pull up Amazon's margins real quick?
Well, yeah, I'd have more of a grin on my face than Stephen Hawking on Epstein's Island.
I'm off as a smug cock when he said that.
Wow, physical philosophy, you're not very smart at all. You screw up, cash flow kings. Dissector, you are an idiot.
Hello, everybody. It's Saturday, and it happens to be Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And at Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, you could be doing a wide range and variety of activities. Now, Fiscal, what are some of the activities you could be doing at Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern that, let's just say, are not accretive to your lifestyle or bank account figure?
You could be saying that Netflix is a better deal than Google because it has higher earnings per share.
Oh, yeah.
Irrespective of what each share price actually is.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not important.
Yeah, I also heard
$20
that
is higher than $8. End of subject.
Yeah, I heard that RoboTaxi is going to fully wipe Waymo out. That's what I was told today.
For sure. Now, aside from that, you could be off gallivanting on the bad side of town. I've been seeing a lot of videos on YouTube. Apparently 27th Avenue has some shady stuff going on.
We don't want to. No, we're not going there.
Ladies walking in skimpy outfits, wearing high heels, getting into random strangers' cars, doing Lord knows what.
I'm getting pretty close to being one of those random strangers. We haven't had enough channel memberships, and I'm getting pretty close to spending, the $20 a month we're getting in memberships right now, and I'm pretty close to going down there with said dollars.
Yeah, you actually, the Oracle attacked. I didn't hear the last 10 seconds of what you said.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah, so I'm pretty close to going down to 27th, basically. We're getting close. Uh-oh, the Oracle has interfered with his internet connection.
No, it's your. I think it's yours, not mine.
You're freezing up on. Okay, we'll let the viewers decide. Become a channel member. Send a super chat and say who's lagging. But yeah, welcome in everybody. I was thinking you could be wearing an all white suit to a wedding. That's definitely something I wouldn't want to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I even own any white clothing. Not even my socks are black. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Obviously, we're not racist people here on the Cashflow Kings, and somebody who's been known to say a controversial thing or two about some people with different colors wearing an all white suit to a wedding is definitely an interesting take. Some say ironic, but yeah, that's for the viewership to decide. You could be drinking alcohols that's very white. That's very right. Nice wonder.
Oh, yeah, sexual behaviors.
Inappropriate sexual behaviors. We don't want any of that. People are stopping screwing their wife to come to the Cashflow Kings, which we can't help but appreciate. Oh yeah, Dividend Dude. We will give Dividend Dude some props. This isn't the real one, but Nike is up 20% since April 3rd, and there was a tweet where I said basically you have Google under 16 priced earnings, you have Amazon under 30 priced earnings. Why would you choose Nike? I mean, I stand by that. I still think that.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I've somewhat doubled down on my conviction in Google. Some of you who follow me on X, not many. I have very very low follower count there, but
Mr. Macho Man.
Hint. But every day, pretty much this week, I've posted the phrase "Google leaps."
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
You can interpret that however you want, but yeah, I believe very strongly in Alphabet stock.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like I haven't been doing anything to the portfolio, and it's just been going up and up and up. Too much winning, one could say. It's nice though. Yep. It's kind of satisfying finally to see some rewards after your shitty investment. Some of the controversial, I should say, questionable investments I've made in the past, and finally looking upwards. It seems.
Yeah, this year has been very solid for me. Very solid.
I think Fabio said it best in like April was a very good wealth transfer for the people who have stomachs and people that don't. So credit to him for that statement. But yeah, I stand by that.
For sure.
We are planning to have Stabulo, who's in the chat but not backstage, of course, in very Stabulo-like fashion, to join us tonight. He hasn't been on the show in a while, so we'll talk about how MPW and TSSI stock have made him rich. He's grifted all of you, and a lot of people are very excited to see
where his exit liquidity.
His exit liquidity, yeah. Before we get into that, though, I did make one move this week, and I sold out of a holding. I sold out of TKO, which
wow.
I know.
I'm surprised to hear that.
I sold out at a respectable 84% gain, not including the dividend. So,
is that because you feel like the price has gotten too far ahead of the earnings? And
I will say this: I feel personally, the quality of the product has gone down, and I'm seeing a lot of unhappy core fans that I think are important to the long-term thesis. I think they're making a lot of money right now, but I think they're sacrificing a lot to do it. I just think the quality of the product has kind of gone down the last few years, maybe a year or two, and why not get out of some gains? And I put half of it pretty much into Jackson because I wanted to build that up, and that's been pretty rewardful so far. Yep. And then I wanted to replenish on some cash because you never know what's going to happen with this administration and the world we're in. So I'm not even at 10% cash, so I just wanted to get some cash.
So I actually I got assigned that 100 shares of Jackson last week, which and because of my lower basis, because of the cash secured put, I'm already up 10% in a week, so it's kind of fun.
Okay, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry, Stabulo. I sent Beater the link by accident. I'm like zoned out right now. Yeah, Stabulo, the nice goon thing next to his name on Discord. I'm sorry, Stabulo. That's my fault. But yeah, he'll be on any moment now due to my error.
You sent it to Dr. Pump, huh?
I sent it to Dr. Pump by accident because I wanted to see if Dr. Pump would also like to join us tonight, but he couldn't. So, we could talk about Disney real quick. Same boat about Disney. The quality's been going down for years. The issue is Disney isn't up 84% from when I bought it. I'm up maybe like 5 or 6%, but yeah.
Honestly, with Disney, it ebbs and flows, right? There were people that said the same shit about it in the 90s, that it's going downhill, right? But it's been around for 100 years at this point, and probably will be around for 100 more. And there will be periods where people say it's going downhill, and periods where it's like the height of the MCU and they're doing awesome.
Yeah. I think we're doing pretty good on Disney right now. I think it's definitely one of those plays where, like, if it gets somewhere a price for, like, I'd have no problem selling it whatsoever. Only Star Wars Disney has made that wasn't trash. Andor, okay. I don't have the time to watch it, but why not?
I mean, the fact of the matter is that Star Wars is still one of the most valuable IPs that exists.
Yeah.
And even if it's hit or miss, there is a set base of fans that no matter what schlock you put out, if it says Star Wars, they're going to go see it.
Quote of the year: Disney would be better off selling dwarf corn. Wow, that is being submitted right now. Wow, what a quote! That is absolutely it. Somebody,
what's this about?
What are you saying? We have done nothing illegal here on the Cashflow Kings. If anything, we are victims to illegal behaviors. So,
is he talking about Khmer or somebody else?
There's no way Khmer can, one, afford a good lawyer, and two, find any illegal warranted information.
I mean, if anything, I mean, he's the one that said I'm not very smart at all.
We're the
That's
cash
like
flow kings to go to
that's
court.
defamation.
That's the final saga for us. We go to court. It's gonna be like all over Instagram Reels. He said in quotations, "You're not very smart at all." Gil, yeah, he said, Gil, you got to tell me what this is before. All right. But in the meantime, while Gil writes up his lawsuit in the chat, we have Stabulo in, who is very bravely going by his first name. Stabulo, you're looking very, very fit. You look very clean tonight.
Thank you.
It's really funny. I actually know his last name also.
Oh, actually, I do too.
Are we gonna dox Stabulo on tonight's Cash Flow Kings?
I feel like I always dox myself. That's the problem.
I'll reveal his identity while Ryan puts my social security number up on the screen.
Yeah, we have like a nice little domino effect going. We all have enough information on
we
each
have
other.
Mutually assured destruction.
Put the
board on the cash.
Oh, so Fiscal, I have a funny story before getting to stuff. When I was in Wyoming a few weeks ago, I had to provide my I don't want to say it was the Wyoming LLC number, but I had to provide a number because I was getting a fishing license, and I went through the drop box, and I was so proud of myself because I had it all handy.
That's nice.
Stupid, but I'm proud of myself. So, Stabulo, you're obviously in a mass of riches as of recently with some of your trades. Would you like to share with the viewership some of your trades, your portfolio, how it looks right now compared to when you were last on, maybe like a year and a half ago?
Well, when I was last there, MPW, interest rates didn't play out that well. Kind of went nowhere. And what did I buy after that? Oh, it was Vishtu, wasn't it? The UK home builder. Yeah. That one went that one went nowhere. What was it? No, I don't remember. Oh, then it was TSSI. Yeah. It was crazy. I got in at like 8, I think. It went to 18. I like held it all the way back down. They went back up, and I fumbled the bag. It's okay.
Yeah, it went back up all right.
They did.
But honestly, you still did pretty well on it, though. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I mean,
I've got the next one.
I did too. So I've gotten mostly out of it. I do have 1,000 shares remaining that are covering some sold calls. So I may or may not lose those shares on July 18th. Depends on if I'm still above 25 or not.
We'll get it crashed for you for the day.
Yeah. Just
market manipulate it.
Tell Fabio to order the short ladder attack. Hurry.
We haven't got the money. It's on MPW.
But yeah, but like literally well over 100% gain, like on the overall. It's like amazing. Because I had bought a couple of like $10 calls for September as well, and that was like a 200 and something % gain. It was just ridiculously good.
Well, I don't know if you remember me saying, you might not have seen it in chat, but so when I got paid, I put the money on the brokerage that I was going to invest. I was like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, so I'll put in the overnight order on TSSI because I was like, oh, it's so low, it probably won't execute. $5.29, it got filled.
$5.29.
$5.29. I got the screenshot. True.
When was that you got it? Was that in April?
It was in it. It must have been, yeah.
Because that was the
market. So
that was when like the tariff tantrum was happening, when everything was getting
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but still, like
Nike,
it never got that low intraday.
No, I think it went. It was at 5, 6,
7. It was like in the $7, $7.50.
I swear it went 6s, right? I swear it did.
I don't know. Seems like ages ago.
Come on,
if only I had gone all in when that happened.
Yeah, 560.
Yeah.
So what are you doing with all this money now that you're a high value, high riches man? What are you doing with all this money?
Well, we're checking IDs out with Fiscal. We're making sure they're real.
Yeah, we are. People
keep getting away with these fake IDs.
Yeah, that's true. They are. They're getting away with it, and in the words of Jesse Pinkman on Breaking Bad, we can't keep letting him get away with this.
We can't,
and we're not gonna.
Yeah, IntelliCheck. That's the one. Just do ID stuff.
Ticker ID.
Telling me a crazy story about like the fake ID stuff that he obviously works in like transport logistics. Oh, that was funny.
You wanna
Yeah.
elaborate on this,
Yeah.
please?
I've been telling because that's, and according to IntelliCheck, this is one of the areas that they've got demand in, and I have some very fun stories of the fraud that takes place and the theft that takes place, and I've been sharing that. Good times.
Good times. So, when exactly did you get out of MPW?
Ooh. I have no idea. The problem is it's just gone up and down. So I can't like look
It
at
was
the
it was late last year, late 24, I think.
The problem is I mess about and I have no reason. I don't know. I don't really follow.
Did you get out? Did you get out when it was like at $6 or something like that?
I don't think so.
Because if you had caught that, because you got in when it was basically $3, and if you had gotten out at that would have been mint.
I don't think that I definitely never got out at $6.50. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I don't even know, to be honest. I have no idea. It wasn't like a crazy price, but I guess I got in low. I started like trading it around a bit. I don't know. When you like watch it like every day, I feel like you can just tell when it's gonna go down. It starts doing these like weird things where volume there's like no orders in the market. And it just always goes down. I don't know how to explain it. It made no sense.
Yeah, I still have literally all my MPW stock. Haven't sold a single share.
I wonder what Dividend thinks about that. If he were here, what would he say?
Yeah,
he'll tell you the 3 stocks to buy.
I mean, it's a poverty REIT. I'd rather have Celsius at 90.
Yeah, only OG viewers remember the debate. Remember the debate between Stabulo and Dividend Dude, the MPW versus non-MPW debate.
That screenshot that was epic with the Celsius.
Remember, it's 50-50 on whether they're going bankrupt. All right, guys.
It is. The other 51. You got on the lucky side of 50. What is he talking about? It's only going to cost $50K to help Khmer bring nobody harassed him. If anything, Finance Guy has more of a harassment case and it's not even illegal. So, yeah. Okay. So what does your portfolio consist of nowadays?
IntelliCheck, that's it.
Yeah,
and
take your ID
$47 $11 calls for September.
Yeah,
the full regen out of the money calls. So
it's funny actually that you mentioned that, because I have some $10 degenerate February out of the money calls too. But I also have 1,200 shares of the stock.
What's the ticker?
A few sold puts.
IDN.
Yeah, IDN.
Pulling it up on finchat.io, affiliate
the
link.
The funny thing is, the financials at a glance aren't going to seem impressive, like at a first
MPW
pass.
Oh my god, this is right out of the MPW playbook.
No.
So what's like the thesis with this? I'll let both of you say, like, what's the...
All right. Well, Stabulo is the OG, but if you want, I can
like
go first.
You should start it off with that crazy story that you told me. I feel that's like the perfect kind of example.
Oh, the theft stuff.
Yeah, where it was like to set up the companies and everything, fake IDs.
Yeah. So this is just one example of the kind of thing that IntelliCheck could help with, right? So in my industry, there are people who will literally set up like shell companies, LLCs in Wyoming, often because of the anonymity. And they will get what's called a motor carrier authority from the Department of Transportation. And essentially they will have like a basically a virtual mailbox in Wyoming. Like you know the deal because of our experience with this.
We would never do such a thing.
Yeah. But basically there was a journalist that did this investigation, and they found that there was one address, like physical building in Wyoming, that was listed as the address of record for like over 200 trucking companies.
Oh,
why is that? Because they essentially exist, or at least some portion of them exist, in order to facilitate fraud and theft.
Yeah.
Because the Motor Carrier Authority, it's basically, if you have $300, the Department of Transportation will give you, appreciate that comment.
Yeah.
They'll give you an authority to haul freight in a truck, essentially. And, you know, this subjects you to, you know, having to get your truck inspected or whatever if it passes, you know, if the DOT decides to pull you over and anything and inspect the truck and all that kind of stuff. But it also gives you this air of legitimacy, so that you can then sign up with freight brokers and essentially agree to haul shipments for them.
Okay.
But if you have made this authority and use this ghost address in, you know, Wyoming or whatever, and it only costs you like a few $100s to set this up, what you do is each new one you set up, you basically scam as much as you possibly can.
I like this.
Until like the freight guard reports and the investigations and all that stuff start coming, and then you close up shop, nobody can find you.
I see.
Right. Now, why is IntelliCheck potentially a good thing for this? Well, the fact is that if you had some kind of a verification check at some point in the process tying these companies to like a real person's identity that is actually verified anywhere in the process. I mean, and even like set aside the DOT or whatever, when they do the sign up with a freight brokerage, right?
Yeah.
Oftentimes there's no real verification other than making sure that an email address or a phone number matches what's on file with the DOT. Right?
Yeah.
What if those brokerages checked ID? Well, that would be good, except for the fact it's very easy to get fake IDs. And China can print basically any state's so-called real ID with like the hologram and everything and have it look perfect. However, every ID has, and if you have a license or a state ID, there's a barcode on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that barcode contains information that's in the DMV or whatever database in your state. China can't really replicate that. They can't force an entry into a DMV database. They can make a very convincing looking fake ID, but the barcode, that actual being able to validate that data is it's very hard to get around that if somebody can do that. But very few, well, pretty much nobody can in every state except for one company. I'm going to give you a guess as to which company that is.
Clearly, it is Starbucks. I have no clue.
So I think that's where the that's like the compelling part of the story is that they're the ones that can use that, like they can validate that that barcode essentially, because they have relationships with each DMV and it took a long time to build that out though.
Okay.
So it's very hard for somebody else to just come up and copy that. It would take a long time. And so they've got kind of, I guess you would call it a first mover's advantage in that particular area, right? And what you then have is the ability to then any business that has a risk of fraud, you can really cut that down if you can remove the uncertainty from the transaction and do it in a way that is quick and easy. It's those two things. Yeah. And that is the problem that they solve. And there's some exciting new clients that there's some
college bars
and some are rumored. But Stabulo, I think you know more about that. So please take it from there.
Yeah. So I don't know like all the information as good as I'd want to, but it seems good enough that I'm definitely willing to buy. So as you can see by that the stock chart, if you go back looking years and years back, so when you said it took a long time to like build these relationships up, you can kind of see who paid for all of this. If you look at the stock chart, it's been crazy over this time. So like you were saying with the barcode, I think every single like jurisdiction, they add something to the barcode, so it can't just like it can't be copied. It can look real, it will scan, but IntelliCheck can tell if it's real or not. So part of the issue in the past is they had like a lot of customers in retail stores. I think they had 3 bankrupt clients that were in retail. That's how bad it was. So the reason it kind of like performed so well in last earnings was everybody was expecting revenues to like be flat or even decline due to the heavy reliance on like retail, but they actually grew because of the strong performance of the other segments to going down. So like the banks, they're having a lot of success with the banks. There's rumors that, well, there's a lot of rumors for this particular social media client, but it takes a long time for these contracts to get fully finished. I don't know if you saw in the chat, Fisco, I put like information on that Truist Bank deal in the earnings, in the transcripts. I was going through them all.
Yeah,
it must have been like a year. I think it was like,
yeah,
I think the market thought it was never coming.
Yeah,
but then eventually it did.
It's because it I think it takes a long time to actually, like, even once it's signed, to actually onboard the client, because they have to, like, in the case of a bank, if they have like physical scanners at the branches and what, like, they have to update all of that, basically.
Yeah, that's another good thing about it. They can use their like IntelliCheck don't sell hardware anymore. They used to, right, but not anymore. They could just like do a small update on the stuff they've got, and then they've got it working.
So
that's why.
But to that point, even a software update at a bank takes ages. But yeah, not having to do the physical hardware, obviously, it's better if I think like just any kind of a scanner, anything that can like even like a cell phone, something on the level of like a cell phone camera,
cell phone can, yeah,
right, yeah, can be used for this type of scan, yeah. And I think most banks have like some type of a scanning device already, so it's just a matter of getting the software going. But yeah, but I think once they do have them onboarded, though, 3-year contract to start with, but they're very sticky, and it will probably get extended past that if I had to bet.
And it seems like all the contracts that started small, they're just getting bigger and bigger. Like the most recent one, I think people believe it's Truist Bank. I think it started as like a much smaller thing, but now it's going to like, I think it said 1,900 branches. And I think, or maybe it was like just online or something like that. But it's just expanding. They're having so much expansion from the customers that just started off with like a small bit. And for what I could tell you, like the transcripts, because it's just an unnamed social media company. So I was like going through old videos and stuff. I think it was meant to be just like some one-time kind of deal for like 2-3 months to like reauthorize emails. So that's program they wanted to do. But it seems like they're just wanting to do more and more. It's like expanding more than the initial use case was.
Yeah, I know they talked about one specific example for a banking client where they were specifically wanting to use it to up the conversion rate for people signing up for checking accounts online, I think it was. And the company was looking for something really small, like a 2% increase in the conversion. Because a lot of people, like, they start the process, but once it gets to all the verification stuff, it takes too long and they give up. And when they went to IntelliCheck, it skyrocketed, like, way past their expectations.
I think when you first started saying that, I was like, oh, I don't remember this. But the more you said it, I do remember seeing stuff like that, but I don't really remember the details on that one. But I do definitely remember hearing stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's and so the reason that any new revenue from new or existing contracts is so exciting, look at their gross margins real quick.
Yep.
Got you. Yeah, it's a little high.
Yeah, so they have explicitly said that they don't have to really like increase headcount. That means no more. They don't have to hire more employees or have any extra costs to take on more customers and get more revenue. So basically, almost most of any new revenue they get is gonna it's gonna filter down to the bottom line at a very high rate.
Yeah. Maybe I should so I was doing some like rough maths based on like I brought up like the 10K and stuff to do that Truist deal. So in the 2024 full year 10K, this is what it said. We have a concentration of revenues with our 10 largest customers, which accounted for 71% of total revenues. Yeah. But then a bit later, it says the top 3 customers with 50% of revenues in 2024. So then I went to the press release for that Truist deal, and it said the total. So the total contract value for the 3 years, high 7-figure range, and it's expected to propel this client to the top 3 revenue generator for the company. So they weren't previously. So we don't know if they're like 4th, 10th. I'm not sure what standing they would be in terms of revenue in total, but they'll get propelled to top 3. So the total revenue for 2024 was 20 million. So if the top 3 must have had 10 million. So that means whatever it went from is going to go to at least 3.3 million in revenue. And with those gross margins, it goes to the bottom line really quick. And if that social media one comes as well, like I was looking at all the transcripts, they're running. They're up and running.
On the social media or so that's interesting. But the revenue hasn't shown up yet.
It might show up in part, but I'm not sure how it's going to be done. But I expect at some point.
And
because
they haven't revealed.
They
haven't revealed who the social media company is yet. No.
I think a lot of the time they reveal it is when like the customer kind of reveals it themselves. That they're working with.
But is the rumor not that it's one of Meta's sub companies?
Don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. It's just Meta. It's something to do, I would imagine, with reauthorizing, like verifying the persons with like emails and stuff.
I feel like Fabio right now. We can't talk in specifics, so we gotta like use very broad terms. This company here, this particular social media company, international social media. Oh,
that's kind of what it's like. Like it's we don't know for sure.
Yeah, they're
the stock. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
But this is the second social media as well. By the way,
when they would talk about their big, they would talk about their big customer, which we all know is Dell, but they don't
Dell.
say it.
We don't know.
We're gonna get pumped. Hey, stop. Hey,
we don't know.
We got a legal liability. Also, speaking of that, we do go to address some comments from a few weeks ago after we talk more about IDN. Let's see. Yeah, this is if you guys haven't already become channel members, we do dance. So if you want to see Stabulo dance, $2 a month. If you don't give these guys money, then you're probably on Grindr. That is probably, it's true.
Bullish Grindr.
Very true.
Yes.
There's a lot of people out there not giving us money, so bullish Grindr.
That's true.
It is publicly traded.
Ooh,
Doing very well as well.
All right, are we done talking IDN then? You guys think?
Unless there's questions in the chat.
Yeah, if anybody has questions,
but yeah.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Wow. Thank you so much for coming into the chat tonight, Aria. I really appreciate you doing that and asking a very informative question. What is the cool software we're using to analyze stocks? And of course, it is fiscal.ai, the all-in-one tool that is not associated with Fiscal Philosophy's name. And in the link in the description, you can easily find our link where you can buy Fiscal AI and give us money.
They can send me the royalty checks on PayPal or
which I still have to figure out.
Make sure it's on PayPal.
Yeah. Yes, sign up for that. It's much better than other softwares that rhyme with DD, not dividend, dude. So you get the gist. Is Mr. Stabulo single from Hugo? He won't be with all that money he's got.
You have to find me on a certain app.
He's married to the markets.
Yeah. Geez, I hope that link is in the description still, actually, because YouTube's been doing some crazy stuff. Dan wanted to talk about Grab, so we will oblige Dan, even though he's not a channel member, doesn't give us $1 a month. That's fine, but we will.
He's a friend of the show. He gets some.
Yeah. I'm just making sure in the description. Yeah, so Fiscal, what's the latest with Grab? It's been just kind of doing its thing in my portfolio lately.
Honestly, so
1%. You got to tell me.
So lately, it just seems like Amit's been pumping it.
Oh, perfect.
People said that.
And you also you need to keep in mind Uber has been on the upswing as well. There are a lot of times where Grab will just go the direction that Uber goes.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty much the same company.
Yeah.
They aren't, but they are.
Yeah. And it not always, but like very frequently on days where there's like a bad news thing that hurts Uber, Grab will go down too, even if it's like but it's specific to just the US because it's Waymo or something.
Yeah.
Because by the way, even if you believe that Waymo is gonna disrupt Uber in the US, we are way further away from them ever disrupting Grab in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, and
Robotaxi points up every time.
Robotaxi's been a threat since 2008. So
yeah. Well, and then Robotaxi, of course, is going to destroy Waymo.
Yeah, the amount of it's ridiculous from the Tesla. It's like blasphemy. Yeah. There was one of the most stupid comments I saw on Twitter today. Guy said, "It's so stupid. I got to pull it up."
It's the one.
Yeah, it's the one.
It's Bradley, right?
It should be.
Has to be Bradley. I saw that Google one.
Yeah, I thought I retweeted this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm pulling it up because it's just this is something we have to observe here on the show. Bradley Martin, not the Bradley Martin.
He's not 260, bro.
Yeah. Basically said Google is not looking that great. IMO search is being threatened by AI. Waymo will fail versus Tesla. Gemini's behind. Then he said price-wise, Google's better than Google's better.
The funny thing about that is just a bunch of regurgitated talking points that are not supported by anything.
Yeah.
One, Waymo's ahead in paid rides compared to Tesla. So if anybody's behind, it's Tesla. Gemini is doing well. Their user growth is great. I've heard the latest Gemini update is goated.
The best. It's great.
And I'd rather own Netflix because even though YouTube generates more revenue, it's Netflix and Joseph Carlson recommended or something. So it's got to be good. Does that sound about right?
Yeah. And then I just said Waymo, the guy who runs our Twitter said Waymo will fail versus Tesla in quotations. Then he said it will without a doubt. Google doesn't have the capacity to mass produce them. Each one will cost over $100,000. The Cybercab can be pushed out at 1/3 of the price. which would be $33,000, and we'll build 1,000 more. And they've been saying
1,000
that
times
since
more.
2010. So, interesting take.
Yep. Well, math, I don't think is his strong suit, but yeah, I think there's probably room for multiple autonomous vehicle players. I don't think it's going to be all Tesla, like they think. They think Tesla's going to be like this monopoly on car rides, and
he's supposedly a professional poker player. He had he just posted $1 million in chips yesterday.
I think it's cap. I think he's full of shit.
I was partially joking when I was saying that, but I mean,
like because professional poker players are actually really good at math usually.
Yeah, I don't think he's very good at math. I don't even know if
but,
it's real.
But yeah, he couldn't distinguish why. I mean, I think after he saw my response, he realized why what he said was stupid. But Netflix has $20 EPS in 2024. Google only had 8, but like their share prices are vastly different.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
So Amit's been prompting Grab, and that's why it's up.
Yeah. I mean, Amit just did like a 15-page write-up on Grab and posted, which I'm not even going to read that.
That's great.
I already know everything I need to know it's a.
Yeah.
It's a.
I don't know how deep those write-ups are either.
Yeah,
I mean, GPT can do a lot for you these days, but
yeah. Honestly, I don't think Grab is necessarily going to 10x or anything.
Yeah.
One thing I will agree with Amit on is his idea is it'll be $10 in 2027. I think that's actually fairly realistic, especially if Uber paves the way and shows how this type of business can scale.
Yeah.
And then if you look at their financial services as an add-on to that, because financial services is it's going to be a very big growth area in that part of the world. GDPs are growing pretty quickly. Some countries in the region are starting to catch up to Chinese per capita GDP, for example. So you have an expanding middle class, people who have previously not had access to banking services. They already know and trust the Grab brand. It's a very strong setup.
And I will say this, I am very bullish on like the entire like mobility delivery entire like industry that Uber and Grab are in, and it's easy to say because they've been up like 25% since we bought them, but like I'm very good business models.
Yeah. Heck, I've been in Grab for over a year now, so I've been bullish a very long time.
Yeah,
it does look good. It seems simple, but good.
I'm gonna help my net worth amount this good amount this week. Sometimes you should be grateful for the regards. It's true. It's very true.
Imagine if Amit had tweeted about, or is Amit the person that mentioned TSSI, and that's like why it pumped that last.
Somebody said it was like a guest on his show that started like pumping it like crazy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's awesome.
We thank him.
You guys ever think
Thanks for being our exit liquidity guys?
You guys ever think there's going to be a Dividend Dude Amit collab? I see Dividend Dude pushing for it on Twitter.
I see
the responses are getting.
I see him in Amit's comments pretty often.
Yeah,
I've seen some crazy YouTube comments
gassing him a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
even though like
Shawn Michaels,
even though he hates Palantir, which is Amit's number one thing, so maybe they can debate on Palantir.
Yeah,
but I've not checked Palantir in a while. Let's see.
Yeah. They're only trading for like 800 times sales or something.
That's cheap. That's cheap.
Quantum
stocks.
Look, listen, guys. Microsoft isn't going to acquire Palantir. Palantir is going to acquire Microsoft.
Yeah,
true.
They'll be the world's first $100 trillion company.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Still crazy to me that Nvidia is like the biggest company in the world by market cap. I think about like years ago, it's just my graphics card for playing games. Now they've just evolved.
Granted, Nvidia graphics cards do a lot more than gaming nowadays, but
still crazy.
I can remember a time where the largest market cap company was ExxonMobil.
Good, proper country.
Or actually, at one time around that same time, it was like Coca-Cola. I think it was in like it was right either. I think it was right before the .com bubble. Coca-Cola for a little while was the highest market cap.
I mean,
and
it
then
is
when the
always a
.com
buy.
bubble burst and then like 9/11 happened and oil prices went up, ExxonMobil overtook a lot of the tech names that were flying high at the time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, during the .com, I think Microsoft was number one for a long time.
Hey, I had my first one bagger this week with Microsoft. It finally passed 100%.
Nice.
Buy the course, $2 a month.
Me and Fiscal, we don't wake up unless it's 200%.
I don't get out of bed. I don't get out of bed unless it's gonna go 100% in 6 months or less.
We need a 5x in 2 months. We're not interested.
But Fiscal, do you think it's a good time right now to be building some cash when portfolios keep going up? And
I mean, I think in something like TSSI, like I did turn a lot of that into cash, but that's I'm taking it on a position by position basis. I think and Andrew said this as well. The price has gotten ahead of the earnings to the point where this price is kind of, if the earnings kept growing for another year or two, kind of it's where we hoped it might get to eventually. And it's already there. So it's like, just take the win because they haven't actually backed it up with earnings yet, you know? And if they have a disappointing quarter, that those gains could just evaporate very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So I do have some cash sitting around now.
Yeah, what are you at, like, percentage wise?
I want to say, well, I was pretty close to like 20, maybe high teens to 20% in both of the accounts that I share things from, but I did put a chunk of that into the IDN thing in one of them, so that one's down to like 9% cash or something. But the Charles Schwab account is I think pretty like 18% cash or something like that. But that's because I fully exited the TSSI. So just sold straight out of it. I did pick up a little bit more of my cannabis micro cap, though there was a big insider buy, so I wanted to.
From what I'm seeing right now, Blake, the PEG ratio is 0.37. That's just from Google AI, though. So I was a quick search up. Don't take that.
The crazy thing with TSSI, I don't know. I'm not 100% on board with the people who have been saying it's like definitely overvalued. I don't know.
No. That's not that. I don't think that's the argument. I think it's just that the price has now gotten so far ahead of the earnings. Like, yeah, the earnings could catch up to it in a couple quarters, right? Because they do have that new facility that's right now just started this month, churning out for their big customer, and it had several times the capacity of the old facility. So yeah, it could be that in the next couple quarters, with that operating whenever it's at full capacity, we could be seeing, they're making every year $2, $3 a share in EPS, in which case $30 isn't very expensive, is it? So
somebody put in the comments, concentration in only one huge vendor is the risk. I don't know. I've never thought of that as the risk. But when it was like single digits, you didn't really have to worry about like the backlog and stuff. You knew they were going to be getting filled by Dell enough. Like, so I think, well, what started the pump was Dell's earnings and a big, massive jump in backlog. Yeah. And I guess at these prices, you need to be like certain that backlog is going to get like converted into actual orders. Like, is there something that's going to just make the backlog keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger because they can't fulfill it? Can Nvidia and TSSI pump out enough chips? I don't know. I'll have to look into that. I think that's what people will have to look at for that.
Yeah. I think it was. I want to say it was Fabio recently that said that he was bullish TSM because of the fact he thinks that they're the actual bottleneck for all of this demand. Yeah. He was comparing it to ASML, I think, like as to why he thinks TSM.
Oh yeah, I brought up ASML. I brought it up.
Oh yeah.
Fiscal, we were talking about Aurora Cannabis stock.
No.
I'm talking about last week. No, I'm putting us into a new segue right now because there was a comment about it last week's show. It was basically the stock went down by a lot, and we were asked why it's down, and we consider it a buying opportunity. It's down like 30%. Blake, I'm sure you can help chime in too.
It's ACB, right? Yeah. So I know that there's two people in my Discord that really like it. Dr. Pump or Beater, however you want to call him, and
Beater soda.
And Blue or TSSI Emperor.
Yeah.
So they
both like Aurora. So
do you know like why it's down or the person was
I don't follow that name specifically.
I'm waiting for you to.
They did say it. Let's think.
I'll let Blake answer. We'll wait for Blake's
it was something like.
But as far as I know, they're a producer, so they're importantly not a competitor with High Tide because they're not a retailer; they're a producer. Yeah. But historically, it's been hard for producers because prices are all over the place, and it's hard to make money.
Producers are gay; they suck.
My understanding, though, is that they are a licensed producer and they produce medical grade, so could be valuable in like the European export space that seems to be popping off, which is that's something High Tide also is interested in capturing some of that Europe money, that German money.
Wait till that thing pumps. Oof.
Yeah.
When High Tide does eventually like pump, are you how much allocated are you right now? Like 10%, right?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe a little less because High Tide's been down and everything else I have has been up a lot.
Yeah. It's like at 5% for me, which I don't love. I actually want to hear Fabio's updated thoughts on like the whole Canadian consumer kind of aspect of it because that's where he was really worried a few months ago. So I want to see his updated outlook on that. Yeah. I'll follow up with him.
Oh, okay. So he's in. So yeah, Blake's in the same micro cap that I'm in.
Yeah, I think I know what you are.
Yeah. But no, I do think things could be getting better for growers, at least in the near to mid future, based on some things I've heard, specifically on High Tide earnings calls. Because
Fabio, you better say that to Raj Grover's face when we have him on in the next couple of months. Hopefully by episode 100, he could be episode 100. That'd be the perfect. By the time we got confirmation this week from our Canadians. Okay. Thanks, Fabio. Real good insight.
Got confirmation this week from our Canadians.
I think that the consumer's cooked.
Oh, the Canadian consumer?
Yeah. But
that trade maybe ramp it back up.
Yeah, we need more Canadians smoking.
Yeah, actually, this is gonna make me sound like a horrible person, but
say it.
You could actually see an increase in Vice spending if the consumers are feeling a lot of despair at their situation. Yeah. So it could actually help. Yeah. We could make money off of it potentially.
We want more depressed Canadians.
If things aren't going well, you get baked on your couch and play video games.
That's true.
Like get to escape.
Yeah. I witnessed last week. I witnessed an illegal marijuana deal. We
Really?
witnessed somebody else buy it, not me, because I don't smoke. But the guy pulled up on a scooter, and he gave the person the goods, and it was funny. It was like your average like high school weed dealer. It was the funniest thing ever. I didn't do it though. I was not associated with the people that bought it. We saw it go down on the beach. So
I know what happened. I wasn't even there.
yeah,
You checked your phone. Your high tide stock was down. You called it in. You said,
yeah. And I mean, even though they're not in the United
illegal
States,
stuff going on.
There's a chance he went north. There is a chance. There's a real chance that he
If you
went
don't
north.
stop it here.
I
you can
reported
start
it to the
anywhere.
lifeguard. It's true. It's like a wildfire. You don't stop one, then it goes off. It gets bad.
You might have let him off if high tide was on a valley, you know.
Yeah.
A big one. In fact, I don't know what it's been doing. I'm not checking ages.
We will give like the 5-minute warning for anybody that wants to ask any questions. I want to talk about Dave real quick to see if we're buying any. Because Andrew is shelling it. We are also doing a Google deep dive for channel members after. I think we're going to do it live this time because it's more fun with people in the chat. So if you want to join us for that, we'll be live for channel members only. I posted the link about like 50 times already, but I'll post it one more. $2 a month. You get to see Stabulo dance at the end of the show. It's a good time. So yeah. Dance if he wants to. Yeah, so are we buying Dave? What's the fiscal? Are you buying Dave or am I buying Dave? What are we doing?
You know, Dave definitely keeps shaking its booty in front of me, asking to come over. I don't know.
I feel like we already have enough holdings, no?
There's always room for more profits. But yeah, I don't know. It's I for whatever reason I'm just not there yet on
Me too.
on Dave. Like I might get there, but I mean, hey, like sometimes I'm a little later to these parties. Like it took me a minute to get into Jackson, but I did. Like we were hearing about Jackson for how long?
We love Jackson.
Yeah. I mean, I was one of the later enters into TSSI after Stabulo pumped it in my Discord a lot.
Yeah.
But I eventually got there.
Steve, we are. What are you talking about? After the show, we are doing a channel members only deep dive on Google. That's what I said. You have to give us money for access. That's true. Fiscal doesn't want to profit from poor people. It's true.
Oh no, I don't care about a wealth transfer from poor people to me. Like that's fine.
Wow, we're about to get some angry progressives in our.
I mean, I own BTI. Like poor people smoke a lot more than rich people.
Yeah, what are the?
I'm profiting off of their bad financial decisions and their lung cancer.
Yeah, what are they called in Britain though? The British cigarettes.
It's after 9 p. It's it's not after 9 p.m. yet. Can we say it?
Wait, hold up. I gotta. It's almost 9 p.m.
No.
I'll get the background ready. I don't know if this will be offensive to Stabulo because he's British. Also, never forget the BTI. What are you? Yeah, you're from Kansas.
Yeah.
Forgot.
Yeah, I'm some unknown state in America.
Yeah,
true.
Waiting for it to be 9 p.m. Eastern, but yeah, I mean, never forget the BTI blunder I had where I thought BTI only sold in
I remember that.
That was probably the roughest moment I've had in a while as an investor. I was partially tired, but also partially never looked into the company. So like I was,
we call that a due diligence moment right there.
That was a due diligence.
You wanted something more international.
Yeah.
The only selling Britain.
Maybe if they went international, I'd buy. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's. I'm not saying it, Fabi. It was like a year ago now. I was.
I remember when I first joined the server though, Ryan. Like, people were hating on BTI. It was considered like the cigar butt stock, wasn't it? That's kind of where it started from. The cigar butt memes.
I thought it was.
Did you remember that? I swear it was hated. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's a cigar."
I don't
butt.
think BTI
slow growing.
I know MPW was bad for.
Oh no,
it's weird. I don't even know if there's like. I don't even know if there's any hated stocks in the Discord now. Like, I'm trying to think. Maybe
People kind of hate Nike in your Discord.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Nike. I mean, there's some justification for that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the greatest you can do.
Celsius loved or hated?
I mean, that's just kind of beating on like a dead.
You ever notice you don't really hear anybody pumping Celsius on Twitter anymore?
Oh yeah.
No. Well,
Yeah.
it's
It's
weird.
him and that
When
Oscar that I always
when
get.
it was 90, it was it's gonna disrupt. It's gonna disrupt Monster and Coca-Cola.
It's taking everybody out. What are you talking about? I'm currently looking for the after hours background to put it in because StreamYard has been a massive pain in the ass and like reset all of our branding. So hopefully I can find it, but if not, we'll have to say some inappropriate things without the background.
Wow. Celsius has recovered all the way back up to almost $46.
What?
Yeah, it was 22 in February. It's back up to 46. Only 139 PE for a like mediocre energy drink, guys.
Let's go.
It's an obvious buy. It's an easy 3x from here, guys.
I think blatant would be a more appropriate word. All right, I can't find the background for the after hours live, so we can all deal with it. But Fiscal, I'll let you have the decision if you want to say what it's called, smoking a cigarette from BTI in Britain. I'll let you make that decision. Does your employer want to say this? We don't know.
Isn't it just called smoking a fag?
Oh!
It's after 9 p.m. I can say that, right?
You'll say whatever you want after 9 p.m. But yeah. I don't see, yep, we don't mess with Celsius anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, Lou Gator, that's enough. Okay, so last comment before we log off here. I didn't realize how accurate some of the finance guy family accounts were when it comes to like the names.
yeah, the one I showed you.
That one and the dog. I didn't know the dog was like actually based off a real, because it is. I swear to God, I'm not.
Yeah, no, but they're very weirdly specific, to the point where I would borderline feel doxxed if I, especially the great one, I would.
Oh no!
Stuff in that guy's profile. By the way, I didn't know. I didn't know that. I didn't know that finance guy wife was a single mom before. Before their marriage, I had no idea about that.
Yeah, I'm out of the loop. I don't know.
Finance
you're smart out to be. All right, we'll wrap up here. But Stabulo, obviously, you're a very controversial figure. Where can the people find you?
I'm not controversial. I'm unfindable.
He's unfindable.
I don't know. I'm on your servers. I'm on both.
He's on all the Discord servers.
I'm always shilling some piece of rubbish.
Ever since Dividend Dude left ours, he hasn't been as active, but that's okay.
By the way, if IDN doesn't at least 5x by February,
it's got 2 months to 5x. We're cooked. We're not after
5x in 2 months, 10x by February, or else.
Yeah,
bad thing.
Hey, we're laughing to the bank if it does that, but
very true. Yeah,
we're buying Google cash.
But once again, everybody, we're doing a Google deep dive after, so tune in for that. We'll be live for it. Always a good time, as requested by Dividend Dude. Yes,
since he's a channel member, we have to do what he says.
Yes, we got to do what he says. He's the boss. But thank you all for watching. Smash the like button, subscribe, do dividends, stocks on drugs, and of course, cash flow is king. Oh yeah.